welcome once again to another episode of Deeper Conversations. I'm your host, Zipporah Gachuche, welcoming you to yet another very exciting show, full of insights, full of information, and talk that builds, that inspires, that puts you on the right trajectory. Today we have a guest with us who will introduce himself, and we go straight to you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Karibu san.
Yes.
Yes.
My name is Joseph Kamata.
Yes.
I'm the CEO and founder of Nulands Limited. Nulands Limited is the real estate and agribusiness company. Yeah, based in Nairobi. We operate in 5 regions, in Narok, Naivasha, Juja, Kajiado, and Machakos.
Thank you. Karibu. So today I want us to discuss a topic that has become sensitive in our country, the issue of buying land. And thank you for accepting our invite. I'm happy to have you because I know you have had extensive experience in this area. We have had stories of things that happen, very interesting stories when our people are going out to buy land only to realize what you bought is not what is, or we've had those stories. So we'd want you to share with us just your experience, maybe wisdom on how somebody can actually buy land and do it right without any further surprises.
Yes.
So maybe before even we get into that, you can also share with us your journey.
Yes.
As to how you came into this business. How long has Nulands been around? Who is Nulands?
Right.
Yes.
Yes, so Nulands has been in existence for, this is our 12th year. But before that, it was incorporated in 2013, but before that, I had dealt with land, buying and selling of land with a group of friends. But we didn't start off as a business. We were actually looking for land ourselves. And we were victims not of fraud, but of shifting goalposts. What happened is I went and identified some land in Syokimau, and I wanted to buy a quarter of an acre to build my house. But I thought, since I'm going to be settling here, I might as well bring in my friends so that we can buy together. So I got 3 other friends, and we saw the land and we liked it. But because we were all working, we were in corporate, we had that Saturday to see, and then the next Saturday to come and close on the deal. I had been there before by myself and identified. So when we came the next Saturday to settle, to finalize, the gentleman who was selling said, there's only one piece remaining. So you, myself now, you will get. Lakini we kijana utapata wengine, they will not get.
Pole sana.
Yeah. And because I had invited them, I told the gentleman, no, we want to buy together. So either we all get,
or we all don't get.
Or we all don't get. And my friends also were a bit unhappy with me because they're like, you came, you showed us the land. Your
due diligence, you should have checked to know whether there is land here for us.
Yeah, and indeed there was land, but the gentleman explained himself. He said, look, you guys were here on Saturday. Somebody came during the week. And, at that time the land was selling for 350,000 per quarter. So we told the guy 400, hoping to discourage him so that he can go and find land somewhere else. He went away, but he came back with a paper bag with 1.2 million and said he wants 30 pieces.
Okay.
So kijana, yours is there, but the rest. So we said, no, we're not going to buy. And so my friends were challenging me because they're like, now, when you told us, we went to our circles, we applied.
In fact, the money, now the money is in our hands, but the land is not there.
What are you going to do? Are we going to return the money? That time, we were also, the 4 of us, we were newly married. So they were like, no, we had even told our wives, this is our first piece of land. What are we going to tell them? There is no land. I told them, no, don't worry. In the course of finding this land, I had seen others. So I'll find you land. Don't return the money, and we will find land. So it was up to me to find the land. So I went looking and due diligence. But what I was finding more was pieces here and there. I could find 5 acres, 5-acre pieces of land in Syokimau.
Yeah.
But of course, they were going to be much more than these 4 quarters that we're going to.
You are just looking for quarter.
Yes. So the next time we met, called these people and I told them, look, I found land. It's 5-acre pieces. So we have enough land, enough for us and more. But this is a catch. It's going to be 5 million, not the 350.
Yeah.
We need to buy it. We need to raise 5 million.
The budget has changed exponentially.
So again, they were unhappy with me because they say, now you told us to find 350, which we found.
350.
Now 5 million between the 4 of us means we get 1 point something. And they're like, no,
what are we supposed to do?
We don't have that kind of money. I told them, no, your 350 is enough.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? So I told them, look, the deal is we will get these 5 acres for 5 million. We are required to put 1 million down, and in 90 days
as a deposit. Yes.
And in 90 days we need to raise
the balance.
Yes. And then some of them were like, I'm not sure, because does that mean if we put down 1 million and we're not able to raise?
Then what happens to like a million?
Yeah. And we said, no. My belief is that since I was able to convince the 3 of you. If we get the 5 acres, subdivide it, we'll get 18 plots. So we already have our 4 units.
Yeah.
And then we have 16 more.
To sell.
The 16, we can get people that we can convince.
Yeah.
In fact, I talked to 3, but I also have other people, I think. So we had quite a discussion because...
And you have 90 days.
And we have 90 days.
Yeah.
Some of them were not convinced. The 2 of them were not convinced because one of them told me, I'm an accountant. I've never sold anything in my life.
We don't do this.
I don't want to be
risky business.
And I don't want to be a salesperson.
Yes.
So you don't tell me to sell land. So back and forth, and the long and short of it, I told them, look, let's sign in on this one, put in our 1 million, which you already have, so that we secure the 5 acres. So we don't have the situation that we had with the others.
Yeah.
So at least we have the 5 acres.
Yeah, we don't come back, it's not there.
So even if it means dividing between ourselves the 5 acres, so everybody gets 1 acre and something, at least we have the 5 acres.
Yeah.
So let's sign in and then get somebody, a surveyor, to subdivide, and then we find the people. And then I added and said, since I was able to convince you, and I believe I can convince more people, you bring the people. We're going to have a meeting after we sign up, and we know that the days have started counting.
Yeah.
We'll make a meeting, invite your friends and relatives and anybody who you think would like to be.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to them. And that's what we did.
Wow.
So they invited. We had about 22 people.
Yeah.
Made some tea. We hired some
catering,
some place on Gong Road. And so we even made it better. We had 18 plots, but we said we're not going to sell all the 18. We're going to keep 2, one as a playground and another one as a common utility area.
Yeah.
So we only had 14 to sell.
Yeah.
And because we already taken 4 units. Now that's how the business started.
Wow.
Because we are too successful. We got more people
than the land. The land.
Yes.
So now you needed to go look for more land again.
But it didn't just happen that way, because we were meeting every week to update, who is taking what. And on the 4th week, we said, it's closed, it's finished.
Wow.
And my friends now changed. They were telling me, no, we can't close it because I told my auntie
that there's
and she's already sent me the money. So I actually even have the money.
Wow.
So
you look for land somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, so look for the second one.
Yeah.
And the third one.
Yeah.
And remember, we were in corporate, we were still working. That was in 2006, 2007. We were working, but we were meeting every week to do this business as a side hustle. So we did 4 phases, and in 2008 I got an opportunity to go work in Tanzania. So I told my friends, I'll be moving, can you guys continue?
Yeah.
But they came back to me and said, no, you've been leading us in this.
Yeah.
I think we've done enough.
Yeah.
Maybe you go and you come back, we'll revisit the story.
We now decide how to go forward from there.
So I went there, worked for 5 years. When I came back, I thought it was my time to leave corporate.
Yeah.
And I called them up and said, look, can we revive this thing?
Oh, wow.
2 of them told me, they had moved on, and that was for
They're
that
done.
time they're done. So they're not very keen. One of them said he would, but not as he would like
As
to
a
be
full-time.
Not as a full time. He can be a silent director or an advisory board. Like you just go ahead and do it. So yes, that's how we incorporated Nulands in.
So now
2013.
you pursued
Yes.
the vision yourself.
Yes. Yes.
And
With their blessing.
registered,
Yes.
and incorporated Nulands.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a very inspirational story.
Yes.
That's wonderful. It's not even a story. Let me not call it a story, because that's your journey.
That's a journey.
Yeah,
Yes.
finding
Yes.
opportunity
Yes.
in a situation.
Right.
And I'm curious because we know that land issue can be tricky. And you're coming from the corporate world.
Yes.
You have no experience
Yes.
buying land. You have no experience going to those offices and checking out, I don't know, title, whether it is real, whether it is forged. So how did you navigate that?
Yes, I think like when people say that people don't buy things, they buy people. In terms of, if something is genuine or not, it will depend on the person who's selling to you. And also I'd like to add the need for professionals and using professionals in anything, not just buying land, maybe even building houses or doing a good job. So that, and you're right, we may not have the experience of buying land, but they are lawyers.
Yes.
They are surveyors. They are legitimate land agents. So, and that's for us, and that's what we advise people, that when you want to buy land, do not be misled by cheaper, because sometimes you go and find there is a going rate, say for example, of land in a certain area, but then somebody comes up and says, I have one, but it's half the price. And you think you've gotten a deal.
The plots.
Yes. I think that adage of when the deal is too good, think twice.
Think twice.
On land, it does. It
really does matter.
It does apply.
Yeah.
So pricing, or that's one. Number one. The other thing is speed.
Yeah.
So I talked about professionals. You need to use professionals.
Yeah.
So you've heard about land search, for example.
Yes.
Somebody is selling land. They give you the title. It's good to carry out a search, and that can be done either by a surveyor or a lawyer, and you go, farm. So, which means it takes time. So, for example, if I'm selling you land and I show you the land, I show you the title, I give it a copy, I'll need to give you maybe a day or two to search. So that's why I'm bringing in the issue of speed, because there's a time somebody will show you the land and they want you to put the money now.
Put a deposit.
Yeah,
just leave the deposit here. Otherwise, you will walk out and somebody else will
the
come
land
in.
will go.
Yeah.
A lot of times, that is a red flag. When you're being hurried.
You're honestly the first that I'm hearing.
Yes.
Who doesn't rush.
Yes.
You're the first.
Of course, as a land selling, and as a land seller, I'd like to make the sale sooner than later.
Yeah.
But for me, the reputation is bigger, and the fact that I know that what I'm selling is genuine, and not only is it genuine, we also try to find land that is good. So what I'm selling you is a good thing.
Yeah.
But let me allow you the time to process that. Let me allow you the time to even do your window shopping. Go check out.
Yeah.
Let me allow you the time to do a search and make sure that it's legitimate. Then you come and we trade.
Decide.
And we exchange
without
value.
Any emotional coercion.
Pushing.
Yeah.
And also with the understanding that this transaction is an exchange of value. The land I'm selling to you is valuable, and your money is valuable.
Is my money? Yes. Very true.
So let me give you time to evaluate. So is the land genuine? Is this really what you want? Is the place for fit for the use that you want to? So by the time you're coming, it's not. See, I'm not. This common thing they say, "Kuweka kwa box." Swingizi the box. I'm not trying to convince or to.
Which is a business strategy, by the way.
Yes.
Close it as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Yeah. So, and a lot of times actually it works in reverse also, in the sense that When the person comes, sees the place, sees it's good, looks around, can see that people are building, they themselves are able to...
They are the ones who will now...
Yeah, will realize, here, if I don't move quickly,
Yeah.
you know, land will go. And sometimes it does happen because people come, maybe you want the first parcel, the one on, you know, touching the...
Near the road,
near the
maybe,
road.
probably.
And we've just opened, like for example, right now we've just opened Juja Phase 5, Macmillan Court. So it's 26 plots. We've just sold 7. So you could come and you want the first one. And the, you know, the whole court of
They are
the
gone.
phase, yeah, it's out in the market.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you don't move fast, of course, yes, you lose
Yeah.
it. But then it's not us to push you.
Yeah.
We'll just tell you this is a piece.
Yeah.
Here's a document.
Decide. Yeah.
Do your search.
Yeah.
If you want, you can tell us. We even allow, just to come back on that thing of question of time, we even allow a limited period of booking without money.
Oh, wow.
You know, where you come and tell us,
Yeah.
I want this. I want this number 1, but I need up to Friday
Yeah.
to put my
Just
affairs
check
together.
Yeah, and make sure.
Yeah.
And be happy with
And be
myself,
happy.
be
Exactly.
content with what I am
Yes.
buying.
So within that period, we cannot come to tell you it
You
was
will
gone.
hold it for me.
Just the same thing, like I was telling you about how we started the business.
Yes, yes.
That gentleman, and that's why we are very strict on that, that if you book, even verbally, we'll keep it for you. Because that gentleman, we had already agreed.
Yeah. When he saw the money.
He saw the money, you know, and we just had the Saturday.
He saw like a paper bag with 1.2.
Yeah, the correct thing for him to have done is would have been to say, somebody who's booked, they're coming on Saturday.
Yeah.
Could we talk after that?
Yeah.
Because there's also a possibility that we wouldn't have turned up.
Yes.
Which is happens in business.
Yeah.
But we should have had the first right of refusal.
It's true.
And the same thing, if you come and book, even if it's verbally, what we do is we ask you how long. Of course, it has to be reasonable
time.
Exactly. So if you tell us, give us a week, give me a week, or give me 2 days, we'll tell you, okay, fine. And indeed, even like, for example, this Saturday, we're going for a bus tour. And we have on the map that we'll be sharing with the people who are coming, there are areas that are written booked. And some of those booked, they haven't put any money. It's just that they're saying, look, like yesterday I took a lady who works in Zanzibar. She just flew in. So she said she may not be able to show up on that day.
Yeah.
Can she be taken earlier? So, you know, so we took her yesterday.
Yeah.
She saw and she booked verbally.
Yeah.
Which means by Saturday she will not have put her money.
Yeah.
But when you go to show people the land on Saturday,
that one is reserved.
Yeah, that's reserved.
Yeah.
It's only now after that, the time that she told us, we can come and tell her, okay, we are on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Are you still in or not?
Yeah.
Then now we can have a conversation.
I like that.
Yes.
So that, you know, for you, you have put integrity first.
Yes.
And the name and the image of the company and even of yourself as a person before the money. Which is, I don't know whether it is because land is such I don't know whether to call it high demand, and you know, there's always that issue of the money going first before the integrity. So it's a very different approach, which really is different, is refreshing. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I also wanted to, because now what you're saying, there are people who are going to see the place physically. There are those who are not there.
Yes.
Maybe those in the diaspora.
Yes.
Who may even watch this show.
Yes.
And would want maybe to book.
Yes.
Or I may hear the word from somebody else. They're standing, but I'm not in a position maybe to join you on that day.
Yes.
But I would want to meet. So how do you deal with that kind of?
Yes. Yeah, and you alluded to it when you talked about the name and the reputation. For us, actually, that's why it's so important that our name, you know, we protect our name. Because we want you to believe that when we tell you that we'll keep this parcel for you, you will find it. We want you to believe and to know that if we tell you, for example, if we send you a pin and tell you we are selling Juja, Phase 5, Macmillan Court, this is a pin, this is why it is, and you book and you buy, when you come physically,
you will not take me to
exactly
Masai Mara Forest.
Exactly. It's exactly where we showed you. Yeah, because that's also another issue. Sometimes in land, it's not that people really lose their money. Sometimes it's that what they bought is not what they get. And so we try to protect that.
Okay.
We tell you, we even give you, for example, even our sale agreement, have the title number. So that, you know, that is even registered in the government.
Yeah.
Even if you were not there, if you went to any surveyor and told them this is my title,
check for me this.
Check for this, for me this.
They will, what you're talking about is what they will get.
Exactly. Which is very important, because then even if you're anywhere in the world, the land that you bought is something
is what I should come back.
You come and get.
To.
Yes. So you can so we have people who have been able to select on the map, say I want number 7, I want number this. They send the money, we send them the sale agreement, we do everything. Even when the title comes out, we ask them, would you like us to keep it for you when you come to pick it?
Oh, wow.
Or would you like us to DHL it to you?
Yeah.
And we've done that. We've done both.
Yeah.
There's some that we've DHL to, some we've kept and they've come and pick. There's some who tell us, my mom lives such a place. I remember the other day I took a title to someone on Kenyatta Road.
Yeah.
In fact, they were surprised. Oh, she was telling me she's buying some land. Oh, you're the people. So we handed over the title.
Wow, that's rare.
Yes.
Okay, Joseph, we'll take a short break.
All right.
I'm loving the conversation, and I'm hearing a very different approach to buying and selling of land. I think something that most of us have not heard about. So we'll get back to that conversation in a bit. Dear viewer, do not go anywhere. We'll take a short break and we'll be back very soon. Welcome back, dear viewer, and we are back to the conversation regarding land. When you get land, when you decide to buy land, especially here in Kenya, we have heard of stories, we have heard of issues, we have heard of people who lose money. So we are here having a conversation just to understand the safe way to go about it, to look at the different pitfalls, and to know what one ought to do to make sure that they don't get into any problems. And to help us with that, we have an expert in this area. He's been in it for the last 12 years. He has seen it all, he has had it all, he has dealt with it all. And so Joseph, thank you so much for being with us on the show. So we continue with this conversation. And I think where I would want us to pick up from is now the different scenarios that happen with buying land, the different pitfalls. And maybe you can just share with us, you know, different scenarios, having been there, you've seen it, and even guide us. Then what is the right way to go about it?
Yes.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, I can pick up a few. I guess the most common one that people know about is when you buy land and you find that maybe it doesn't exist, or somebody else had been sold the same land. That's the most common, and of course it's like the extreme.
Yeah.
But then there's also other pitfalls where, for example, you buy land, yes, you do get land and you get a title, but you come to discover that the land you bought is not the one that you were shown, because maybe the person who wanted to sell you wanted to create the impression that the land is near the road or near a certain, you know, important feature.
They exaggerate.
Paka mafuta kidogo. Yes, I remember when we started buying land, sometimes we'd be told next to JKIA. You know, when we're buying in Syokimau, and when you go there and you go and you ask them, but I thought it was next to JKA, and they show you the control tower in the horizon.
It is near there.
I try to wonder, next, when did the word next
change meaning?
Yeah, so sometimes that's also another pitfall where what you bought or what you thought you're buying is not what you're buying in terms of location. The other one is also the size.
Yes.
You find that maybe, and that is very common nowadays, especially with small plots, and you say, somebody says an eighth of an acre or a 50 by 100. But when you actually get your title and you actually buy the parcel, you find it's nowadays they're talking about 40 by 80 or even smaller. So in your mind, you're saying, oh, I bought an eighth of an acre somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's
when you finally
yeah,
get
it's a
there.
16th or something else, something in between.
Yeah.
That is also another pitfall, and I think that's probably the most common one nowadays. Yeah, and I guess the other one is what do you call clean title, or say, for example, you get a piece of land, you're buying, but the seller does not tell you that there is a dispute. So you do, get into the transaction, and halfway through you realize there's a...
You can't even, it's called a caveat.
Yes, there's a caveat, so maybe you can't transfer, or there's a dispute, so, or the title, the landowner is either deceased, so there's an
Is
issue
there
there.
somebody who saw land sitting somewhere and decided to make some money out of it?
Yeah, or they didn't do the proper thing. For example, maybe they didn't go through the succession, so you're left with a parcel which, now it's you to sort out that, and it becomes very difficult sometimes because there is a process. So there are some of those, but maybe if I can address some of the remedies.
Yeah.
The first one, in terms of being sold fake land, there is the importance of doing a search. The search is not just in the lands registry, which is the first space, which is important, because what a search simply does is to confirm that the owner, for example,
what is being seen on
what
the
is seen on the
title
title is
actually the
real one.
owner.
Exactly. And that, the Ministry of Land does a good job of that, because they actually give you a physical paper, which is called a search, outlining that. This is the owner. The other thing that search does is checks whether there is any encumbrance. Either the title maybe have been charged to a bank, or there was
that the previous owner maybe had taken a loan against it.
Exactly. So they might show you a title which has a name, but the search may bring up that it is owned with a bank, or it's charged
it is
to a bank.
attached to something else.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's encumbrance. You might also have a case where land has been surrendered to the government. Maybe that area, something was happening, people are compensated, and the land has now since been maybe
returned to the government, awaiting whatever project.
Exactly, it's part of a road, it's part of an airport, it's part of something, and that would normally be indicated in the Ministry of Lands. So when you go to search, it may come out.
That information comes out.
Comes out that this land is public land, for example.
So now the search is done, I want to assume now. So you just go to the lands offices?
Yes.
Is that specifically in Nairobi, or does every county have their own land office?
Yes, we have what you call the land registry.
Yes.
Every county has land registry, sometimes two, depending on how big it is. To give you an example, for example, Kajiado, there's a land registry in Ngong, and there's a land registry in Ngong town, in Kajiado town. So depending on where your land is, it detects where you can do the search. And so search you can do, that applies to the whole country. You can do it yourself. All you need to do is to submit a copy of the title, complete copy of the title with your documents, your ID and PIN, and you pay a fee, and you can get the search come out. But also remember, I mentioned the use of professionals.
Yes.
That's something that a lawyer will do for you, because it's advisable when you're having a land transaction that you involve a lawyer, so they can do a search, and they can also, you can have a sale agreement which they can witness, so that if I sold you land, there is a document that we agreed, and it is witnessed by a lawyer. So should you have a dispute, this lawyer can come and say... There is always
a legal framework that can come in.
Can cover, because the lawyer can say, yes, this seller did come, and this buyer, these two people did agree before me that this transaction is happening.
It's a legal agreement.
Exactly, and you can have recourse.
The search fee, Average? Because you know, in my mind, I'm thinking it could be anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes people avoid these things out of not knowing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're imagining it might be this or that.
Yes, it varies, you know, depending on the registry.
Yeah.
Whether it's you know, municipal or it's what kind of a title it is.
Yeah.
I think it's about 1,000 to the government, but if you're going through a lawyer,
yeah,
different legal firms charge different because
fees.
there's also their time.
Yeah,
they will need to send somebody to go and do that. So they'll charge you as a service. Yeah. So it depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not.
So, but if I wanted to do it myself, I can walk into the lands registry and pay. Say I want to buy a kakwota in Syokimau, for example.
I think it ranges between anything between 500 shillings and 1,000 shillings. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Super.
Yes.
Good to know that.
Yes.
Okay. Now to the second one.
Yes. So that's in terms of just ensuring that the people who are selling you the land are the rightful owners. So the search helps.
Yeah.
And that the land is not charged. There's no encumbrance.
Yeah.
And that the land is not, you know, part of
a government project somewhere.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, in terms of the size.
Yes.
You know, of course, you have the copy of the title.
Yeah.
It's important to ask for a mutation. If it's a subdivision, if it's a small piece of land, you need to ask for a mutation, because for that title to have been produced, there's a subdivision that happened.
Yeah.
So there's a map, which is even recognized by the government, that shows how the subdivision looks like. So that mutation helps you in two ways. Number one, you can be able to see on the map that this is a quarter of an acre, or the dimension. It actually gives you the dimensions, and it says 0.05 or 0.045 hectares, so which should correspond to what is on the title. So you see that's easy to check kind of thing, because you can always ask, how comes on the map it shows this, but your title says
so the
this?
map is coming from the seller?
Yes. Yes.
And can I also get that map from?
Yes, from the Ministry of Lands.
From the Ministry of Lands.
Yes. If you get whichever registry it is, if I give you a title, for example, for Syokimau or for Juja that we sell, or for, you can actually, using that title, in fact, the title normally even gives you the sheet number, the map sheet number. So if you give to any surveyor, or even if you go to the Ministry of Lands at the registry,
they can be able to give you that.
They can give you that. You buy it, but yes, they can give you that.
I have bought a quarter, and the measurements are X by Y. So now, how do I know? Because I mean, I can't stand and know that from here to there is X. I mean, to a layman, maybe to you who is an expert, it might be a bit obvious. Hey, akaka plot, akafiki quarter.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
But then for me who is buying, like you have said, that has become a very common issue. And even for maybe for some shrewd business people, hiyo quarter ukikata ka piece, you can actually come out with another quarter at the end of it. So how then do I ensure that the size I bought is, are there ways to ensure that?
That's why I'm emphasizing on the documentation, because if I come and sell you land and I give you a title that reads a certain number, and the map also corresponds to that number, or even without ascertaining it on the land, you are protected, because my sale agreement says I sold you.
This is what I bought.
Yes. So even if you went, even in my absence, and found that that's not what
it's not adding up to
what, you have a right to demand what I sold you. Because it's more exactly even like if you're buying a piece of cloth or buying a kilo of meat. If it's not a kilo,
if I go and
it's not,
buy some crude method or whichever,
you can come and claim and say, you know, so it's, I think the documentation is what is important, because and that's where part of the due diligence and about talking about pitfalls, just to give you a practical example, even when it comes to pricing. So I may come to you, for example, now we're selling Juja 50 by 100 for 900,000. You may come to me and say, no, but I found somebody else in Juja who's selling an eighth. They say they're selling an eighth, for 700. How comes? And normally we encourage people and ask them, are you sure it's an eighth? Have you seen the copy of the title? Or have you asked them what the dimension is? Because I'll show you, I'll tell you, okay, I don't know about the other people, but I can tell you, this is my copy of my title.
Is this one?
And this is my my subdivision. The subdivision has dimensions. So, say for example, mine is saying 15 meters by 30 meters.
Yes.
And mine is 900,000. Can you confirm?
Okay.
The one that is selling at 700
is
in the same area.
What dimension exactly?
What dimension exactly?
Yeah.
So if you find it's not, then you can have the conversation and tell you, we are not comparing apple and apple. It's 700, but yours is 20 by 10. The first eighth of an acre. You know.
It can be an eighth of very many varieties.
Exactly. So documentation is important, and those are, again, coming back to what you asked about pitfalls. Those are some of the conversations you want to have with the seller. To say, okay, this eighth, what's the dimension? Is it a 40 by 80 or is it a 50 by 100?
The eighth is an eighth.
An eighth is an eighth. Exactly. An eighth should be an eighth. So then that is also another pitfall where you come and find because like you said, an eighth is an eighth, so there shouldn't be at eighth in Indogo Kuliko eighth.
It's true. No. An eighth is just an eighth. It should just be an eighth.
Exactly. So that's important. Again, coming back to that mutation, it helps with ascertaining the position. So for example, place like Naivasha, for example, you're selling 4 acres, you've subdivided, and I'm selling a piece of land. If I'm dishonest, I could show you the front one, and you pay, and you
the one that is nicely, maybe by the roadside,
and you have all these ideas
by the waters or sea.
Yes, and then you pay, I give you a title, so you're happy. And then in one day you come and you find somebody else there. And you're having that conversation, and they're asking, what is your title number? And now when you go to look for the map, it clearly shows the title that you're holding is not what you believe. So you do have land in the same place, but it's
not what you showed me.
Exactly. Which is why I want to come back to that map thing of saying, so if I give you a copy of the title, then I showed you the mutation, you're able then to look and see, and you can tell, hey, but Mr. Kamata, this title from the map, it shows like it's not.
Number 10 yenye umenipatia iko kule nyuma.
Number 10, how comes on this map?
Yenye iko kwa front hapa ni number 2 or something like that. So you are actually, it's like building houses and showing people the showroom.
The showroom, yes. But the person who's selling needs to show you.
It's not the showroom you're buying.
This is not what you're buying. This is just an example.
It's only after completion that they tell you, okay, now. Panda
ile ingine or koko juu. And that's important because you see, when you're buying the land, you have whatever you want to use it for. So if it's for building, maybe you liked it because it's the front one, because that's what you like, or you like the view and you wanted the one that was up there. So when you come and find that where you were standing and where you thought,
title.
So that's also a pitfall, because now you're either having to change your plans or of course, even that feeling of you've been duped.
Being betrayed.
What you thought you're buying is not what. So we are very careful with that to make sure that what we show you
is what I get.
Is what you get. Yes. And if there's going to be change, we'll let you know, because change does happen. Remember earlier we talked about booking. Where you told us, give us 1 week. Give me 1 week. I want number 2, but give me 1 week to arrange myself. Then 1 week passes, we come to you and say, are you still interested?
Are you still interested? This one that you booked?
Yes, and then you might tell us, yes, I'm still interested, but I'm not ready. And we tell you, there's somebody who's
willing,
who's interested. Can you let it go? Then we tell her, we agree that, look, I'm releasing it, when I'm ready, I'll
come
pick
back to
whatever.
you. Yes, and
Yeah.
pick whatever
So
is
yes,
available.
you might come back and find number 2 is gone.
Yeah.
And you end up taking another one. So there you cannot hold us,
Yes.
that you showed me
Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah.
Because there's been a process and there's been a conversation.
So it's a matter of, proper communication.
Yes.
And even letting the decision come from me, the buyer.
Yes. Yes.
The power of what I decide to buy, if I decide to buy, now you have put it in my hands.
Exactly.
Which makes it a very comfortable sale
Yes.
in that case.
Yes.
But now let's talk about a scenario where I have committed, I have started the payment.
Yes.
Somewhere down the line, something happens, I'm not able to complete
Yes.
the payment.
Yeah.
But now you have allocated me the land and said, hii ni ya Zipporah.
Yes.
Somewhere midway, maybe something has happened, and so then what happens?
Yes. Yes, and that does happen quite a bit. And this, thank you for bringing that up, because life does happen. You had all the intention to buy, and you put your deposit, and we even have a sale agreement saying you're buying plot number 4.
You're mepeana, so you can't. Now you're not giving it to any other buyer since I've started my
available.
payments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, it follows almost the same process where we come back to you and say, look, Zipporah, we had agreed on 3 months. 3 months have come to an end.
Yeah.
And you haven't finished
your
paying.
payments.
What's your plan?
Yeah.
And often what happens is either people ask for more time. So we give up to 6 months, interest free, another 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So we can give you another 3 months, and if again after that 3 months you're not,
there's still a challenge.
It's still a challenge. Now we have another conversation, and 2 things normally happen. Well, actually 3 options. Number 1 is to tell you, look, why don't you release that unit? We have your money. That's granted.
Okay.
The unit was 900,000.
Yeah.
You paid 400,000.
Okay.
That money we have. So we can give you 2 options. Say that money, 400,000, will remain as a deposit for any other person.
Future.
Yeah, here or in this phase or somewhere else. But you release this unit so that we can offer it to somebody else.
Yeah.
But your money is not lost. You have your 400,000. That's the first scenario, and most people prefer that, because sometimes whatever is making you not continue is temporary. Yeah, something
Normally
has come up.
It's a very temporary situation.
Something has come up, so you'll recover.
Yeah.
So we don't need to punish you for that.
Yeah.
Then the other option is where we say, if you really want this unit and you want to release it, and now you're past your time, let's talk about interest, because you see it's costing us money.
Yes,
for you to hold it. And this parcel, remember, it's appreciating, so the next one is going to be more expensive.
Yes.
So we agree on an interest rate. For example, for now we're charging the balance at 2% per month of the balance, not of the total, but of what is not paid. Because it continues reducing, because even within that time, if you're able to pay something
continues reducing.
And we've had those scenarios where somebody says, no, I wanted that unit, I believe
I'm stuck with that
I'm
one.
stuck with it, and I believe it's mine. And I've already even started visualizing the house.
Yes, what I'm going to do with it, the project on it, or my home, or whatever.
And then what is preventing me from paying is temporary.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
I know it's passing. So I'm happy to pay the interest, because it's understandable. We've already given you a grace period. You're not able to pay. And it's costing us. So we have that second scenario where people say, yes, I'll keep it, I'll pay the interest. And you just continue giving me sending me the statement to show me how it's
the amount that is pending
is accumulating. And that happens, and we've had such scenarios. The other scenario, which is not desirable, but worst case scenario, is where somebody says, I'm not able to continue, I don't see myself being able to. So we revert to the provisions of the sale agreement, which normally is a percentage. You forfeit 10% of the total value of the land. Which
and
of course then we reimburse the balance. Yes. Wow. It's not desirable, but we've done that. Although even in that case, we've had people we've refunded to, they go away happy. and then when
they are ready,
they come back. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. I think that has really been a wonderful conversation. I must say, Joseph, you're different. I love the way you do business, the integrity part of it, and the power you also, allow the buyer to handle the whole buying process. Because then even after that, they are happy with whatever it is. Like you have said, my money is valuable and the land is also valuable. So it is value for value.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful. So even as we wind up, I think it would be good for, I know we'll do this again. We probably will need another show. We have just scratched the surface of this. So you could share your contact details.
Yes.
Just in case somebody would want to reach out to you for further information, for further counsel, further advice. Maybe they're in a situation and they need, somebody who understands the market, the situation well to guide them. Maybe you can share your contacts.
Yes, so the company is Nulands. Again, there is a background to that. It's about Nulands. Just that we tweaked a bit the spelling, because we help people to
get
new lands, and we open new frontiers. We'll talk about that maybe sometime.
Next time.
So Nulands, we have a website, www.nulands.co.ke. I think it's the easiest way to get us, because in there we find our phone contacts, our Facebook handles, all our socials, Instagram, and our YouTube channel.
Super.
Yes.
So you have a good digital presence.
Yes, we do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being on the show, and thank you for sharing your valuable information, and thank you for doing business and doing it right.
Thank you.
Truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I know you have a host of happy clients out
yes,
there.
we do,
Yes.
and we are happy to refer.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of them are even happy.
Yes.
Our biggest way we sell is actually referrals.
Is referrals.
Yes.
Yeah, because I haven't heard too much noise about Nulands, but it's amazing.
Yeah. You get calls, I got your name from my brother, I got your name from my sister, a friend.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And viewer, I'm sure you've been able to get a wealth of information from this conversation. And we look forward to yet another show with Joseph. We have hardly scratched the surface of this topic, and we hope you can join us for yet another show. Thank you so much for being with us. And for now, it's goodbye from us. Thank you.